Who are you? Are you the things you've accomplished, the things you've failed at, or are you the invisible impact you've left behind on people you never met, in moments you never saw? Maybe you're the book someone clutched in the dark when they had no one else. Maybe you're the words that gave someone the courage to begin again. And maybe you've simply forgotten, but someone out there hasn't. Sometimes all it takes is one unexpected encounter to remind you who you are. Now let me tell you a story about a writer who lost everything and a girl who helped him remember. Why do things fall apart just when they begin to make sense? That question had been circling in Daniel's mind for weeks, maybe months. He wasn't sure anymore. The days blended into each other, like paint on a canvas that once had form and meaning, now dripping into nothing but gray. He had once been the voice people quoted. His words had lived in the margins of strangers' journals, on the screens of those who couldn't sleep, tucked between the hearts of the lost. Now the pages remained blank. The inspiration that once poured through him now refused to even whisper. Daniel stared at the ceiling most nights, wondering if what he had built was ever truly his, or if it had all just been a series of lucky accidents. Beatrice had been the first to believe in him, followed by Jack, then Celine. Their support had snowballed his first manuscript into a published success. His name, Daniel Rivers, was printed on covers, displayed in bookstores, whispered in coffee shop conversations. But that was before the silence, before the inspiration left without a reason, without even a proper goodbye. Now editors asked questions he couldn't answer, and Daniel had none for himself either. What do you do when your gift feels like it's been taken away? Who are you without it? That question followed him into the coffee shop, down empty streets, and eventually to the door where an unexpected knock would change everything. She introduced herself as Lee, mid-twenties, wind-blown hair, oversized delivery jacket, and eyes that danced between shyness and something deeper, something determined. She handed him a box. Daniel looked at it. No markings, no label. "You don't know what's inside?" he asked, half amused. Lee grinned. "I thought you'd know, you're the writer." He didn't smile. He hadn't in a while. "Come in," he said. "I'm not used to signing things standing up." Lee stepped into the living room, eyeing the shelves lined with books. "Are you well known?" Daniel hesitated. "What does famous mean to you?" She thought for a moment. Maybe it's the opposite of being forgotten. He chuckled softly. "I once heard that fame is like a mark on your nose. Everyone sees it but you." Lee nodded. "Or maybe you only know you care about being remembered when you realize you're not." They stood in the silence for a moment. It was the kind of silence that didn't feel awkward, just thoughtful. "I'll make coffee," he offered. "I don't know if that's proper," she said with a grin. "It'll be 5 improper minutes. I think we'll survive." She laughed. It was the first sound that made his house feel alive in weeks. As the kettle boiled, they talked. She told him she worked part-time as a delivery person. The rest of her time was dedicated to acting. "In 2 weeks," she said, "we're performing a new play. It's my first time as the lead." Daniel's eyes lit up for a moment. "That's incredible." "It is. Everything feels like a dream." "And you?" she asked, tilting her head. He paused. "I think I'm in a kind of crisis. I haven't written in months. I can't tell if I'm stuck or if I've just run out." "You don't look like someone who's run out," she said quietly. He looked away. "Sometimes when you're too high up, your inspiration gets scared of the view and runs." Lee didn't respond right away. She was staring at his bookshelf, at one title in particular. "I know who you are," she said softly. Daniel blinked. "What?" She turned to him, suddenly shy. "Your book. It was my only companion for a long time. I read it over and over. I think I memorized entire chapters." He was stunned. "I used to fantasize that one day I'd deliver a package to you," she continued. "That maybe I could thank you in person. Your words. They were a lifeline when I felt like I was drowning." Daniel sat down, quiet, humbled. She reached into her bag. "There's something else I should tell you. The play I'm starring in, I wrote it. It's inspired by your book." He stared at her, words failing him. She smiled gently. "I hope you don't mind." "Mind?" he echoed. "No, I don't even know what to say." "Then don't," she said. "Just know that sometimes your words reach people you'll never meet, and sometimes life circles back to let you see what you started." She stood. "I have to go. I'll send you an invitation." He walked her to the door, still silent. "Oh, and Daniel," she said just before stepping out, "there's nothing in the box, I know, but maybe this time luck looks like a person." After she left, Daniel sat on the edge of the couch, her words replaying over and over. She knew, she had always known who he was, and not only that, she carried a piece of his legacy with her, not in the form of applause or fan mail, but in something far more sacred, in art born from his art, in courage grown from the seeds of his own vulnerability. That night, for the first time in months, Daniel opened his notebook. The blank page didn't taunt him this time. It welcomed him. He didn't know what he would write, but he knew why he wanted to. He wanted to remind people like Lee that they weren't alone. He wanted to remind himself that creation doesn't have to come from clarity. Sometimes it comes from chaos. And most importantly, he wanted to remember that worth isn't found in bookstores or in bestsellers lists. It's found in a stranger's hands, trembling over your words at 3 a.m. It's found in a girl who dares to dream because your words told her it was okay. 2 weeks later, Daniel sat in the back row of a small theater. No one recognized him. No one needed to. The curtain rose. Lee walked onto the stage not as the delivery girl, but as a character with fire in her eyes, bearing lines that felt familiar, words that echoed his past, woven now into a new story. She was stunning, strong, tender. And when the lights dimmed at the end and applause filled the room, Daniel clapped too, not just for her performance, but for what it meant, for the reminder that even when he had nothing left to give, something he'd once given was still moving through the world, alive in someone else's hands. She caught his eyes as the curtain fell. Her smile said everything. She hadn't just found him, she had brought him back to himself. "So who are you? Are you the successes people remember? Are you the failures that haunt you? Or are you the invisible moments, the quiet ripples you create in someone else's world without ever knowing? Maybe you're the book left on someone's shelf that gave them the courage to write their own. Maybe you're the voice in the silence that reminded someone they were still worth something. Or maybe you're still searching. And that's okay. Because life, in its strange and unpredictable dance, often leads us back to ourselves through the people we didn't expect and the moments we didn't plan. Daniel had forgotten who he was, but Lee remembered. And sometimes that's all it takes. Not a bestseller, not a standing ovation, just one person quietly saying, "You helped me, and I've never forgotten." That's the kind of fame no spotlight can touch, And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of legacy worth writing for.